Hello, this is the Hesa Bajuna. Welcome back to my channel. Today in Energy Immersion Circle, one of my group programs, we had the honor and the pleasure of having Yolessa Lawrence's presence. She did a training with us and it was pretty amazing. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you a portion of our session today where she talked about spiritual detox and the effects of it. Enjoy!
We call it spiritual detox for a reason. So it has all the aspects of detox. The physiological part, it's a very deep and intensive intestinal cleanse and liver cleanse. So it's no where you do pretty much change your diet and you do use herbs, on a schedule in order to flush out the mucus, the mucoid plaque, what I call from your body. And it's mucoid plaque. Mucoid plaque basically causes disease and conditions in any form. So it doesn't matter depending on what the disease is. For example, mucoid plaque in the brain can result in Alzheimer's. Mucoid plaque in the joints, becomes arthritis. Mucoid plaque, in the womb can become, cervical cancer or something like that. It drains and takes that out of the body. But on top of that, normally when you go through detox, anyways, you go through a huge emotional rendering. The way the brain works is to remember, because as you go through the detox and the toxins leave your body, it's like the brain starts processing everything emotionally that was stuck that it couldn't process. The reason you're having those pains and the reason the mucus accumulated was because of conflicts and things getting stuck. And so it's unstucking. It's, everything is getting loose. And so that's why at that moment, I do this emotional mapping of work, which we consider the spiritual work, because it's an opportunity while all the toxins are flooding the system, the issues have risen to the surface and it's like they're ripe. I can weed them out so easily, much more easily than if someone was not in a detox. And once they're weeded out, once a conflict is weeded out from the root, it will not grow anymore. It won't grow in any way. And so it's taken out for good. This is how you can solve your life issues for good. And so people who go through this process, it's really a profound before and after experience, where their main life issues, their main even pain or physical problems that they have change, when they go through this process to where afterward they're just not having them, or they're greatly reduced, or many times they're not even having them anymore, and it goes to really any type of condition. So the reason it's 28 days, the physiological part, we know it takes the brain 21 days at least to make a real solid permanent change. So the 28 days is also about prepping and coming down from it, to include that in the time. And then we do the session work in the 28 days because we're trying to use the opportunity of all the energy, all the weeds being kind of torn out, and moving in order to heal. And so it's an intensive period. It's very intense, yes. But at the end of it, if you commit to it, it's so radically different. The most challenging part, people often wonder about, like, oh, how can I, this isn't going to be challenging cooking wise and all these things. But actually, once you find the rhythm with it, usually within a week, it's really not hard. It's just the rhythm, and the body changes so quickly. It often shocks people who have, addicted to coffee or other things, or like they cannot imagine giving up a certain habit. But as soon as their biochemistry changes, because what they're putting in their body changes, and it is a kind of alkaline vegan diet, but you do eat through this entire process. then a lot of times those addictions go way down. It's almost shocking because their systems are becoming regulated. So as soon as that happens and things become regulated, people find once they get into the rhythm, it's really not as hard or difficult as they think it's going to be, and they just keep feeling better and better. And the way this detox is designed, it's to be manageable. It's to be highly effective and root things out deeply and remove plaque, but with the least amount of side effects, you know? So it's really something anyone can do, even if you have some medication or there's something you're on, you can still go through this kind of process. And many times it will help you if you are medicated to begin to reduce possibly the amount of medication that you need to have. That's basically the process, I think, of what you experience. And the emotional work, I mean, you only experienced a touch of it today. Usually we start through, we look at what kind of physical symptoms are coming as you go through the detox process. And based on those physical symptoms, basically we know what kind of issues really are dying, hungry to be dealt with. We go from there, and then we come full circle with it. Now, toward the end of the detox, usually by the third, fourth week, people have pretty much come full circle with most of their issues. And by the fourth week, really, we're more focused on what I call like purpose alignment. Now, you know, when this detox ends, you know, how, what is my purpose and how am I going to align with it and what's my plan of action? So that when you finish this process, you're not just left with, well, what do I do now? It's like you know where you need to kind of go and progress with your life. And the results will stay with you for years, permanently, really. And this is also kind of learning about how to live.